Business Express on Smooth 98.1.
Good morning. It is time for us to talk business. You're listening to Smooth 98.1. It's love music, love life here. My name is Valentine Ohu, and I'm welcoming Rotus. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Valentine. Good morning, everyone out there listening. Good morning to you all as well.
All right, please send messages to WhatsApp number 0809 That's 0809 You can use Twitter at Smooth981FM. Please add to your tweets this hashtag Business Express 91. And we're streaming live on YouTube.
All right, all right. So, the governor of Lagos, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has said that MSMEs, micro, small, medium enterprises that have taken loans from the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund have 3 months. They're giving them 3 months off in order to pay it back for those particular loans. So if you've taken a loan from the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, remember that's a scheme that was set up by the Lagos State government, low interest loans to assist MSMEs in order to get by. So they're saying that because due to the pandemic, they know that you all, are things are a little tough right now. So essentially, you got 90 days, you got 3 months off. Particular quotes here, in fact, it's on the Lagos State's Twitter handle. Where it says, so the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, approved a 3-month moratorium to members of the micro, small, and medium enterprises who have borrowed from the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund as part of concessions to cushion the effect of COVID-19 pandemic on their businesses. The moratorium will serve as a palliative, encourage entrepreneurship, and sustain the confidence of small-scale industrialists and MSME operators in the state. What do we think? What do we think? First of all, is 3 months enough? We're in June. Pandemic lockdowns. Well, we can count late March as to when things really started to get ugly for businesses, when lockdowns took place and so on and so forth. So, it's been 3 months, right, since March, and how many businesses have recovered? There's still a lockdown in place. Interstate travel is still not allowed. Flights, things are still where they are, although there's supposed to be a gradual easing. Some folks don't think 3 months is enough, and I think I'm in that camp. Also, the part about saying that, well, the moratorium will serve as a palliative. If you look at what the CBN did, they had the same type of support set up for households and set up for SMEs. They gave them a 1-year moratorium, full year, right? And I think if anyone is going to be giving anybody else time off to pay back a loan, we don't know how long this pandemic is going to be around. It's probably going to be, you're probably going to need at least a year, right? 3 months goes like that. I don't know between now and 3 months from now, what's that, August, July, September. So July, August, September, our businesses going to recover. And then look, we're talking about loans here to micro, small, medium enterprises. So these aren't particularly large loans that we're talking about here. And so what's the likely impact? It's still a welcome initiative. It's still good, but what is the impact? So the Lagos State government, every other government, you need data, right? You need to find out exactly what's affecting MSMEs out there, what they need, and act accordingly, or act in accordance with that data. So thankfully, the Faith Foundation carried out a survey. Faith Foundation is a foundation that is geared towards, their whole modus operandi is assisting MSMEs to scale, to grow, and so on, be profitable, and so on and so forth. So they partnered with Budget. Everybody knows Budget, the advocacy guys and girls who are dissecting state and federal budgets left and right and trying to, push for good governance and so on and so forth. So they got together and they carried out a survey. The survey covered 1,943 MSMEs. And they asked them, what's been the impact of COVID-19 on your business, right? You know, the numbers weren't pretty. So 94% of the MSMEs that they spoke with recorded a negative impact from COVID-19. 13% said they have enough. Now, this is the key part here. 13% of them said they have enough cash flow to last 1 to 3 months. 33% said they have enough cash flow to last 1 to 4 weeks. And 27% said they have cash flow to last them for 1 to 7 days. I mean, that just shows you how tight the cash flow situation is for a lot of MSMEs in the country. So, you know, you can contrast that with saying, okay, well, you don't have to pay off your loan or make a payment towards your loan for the next 3 months, and that's a palliative. You know, the government needs to see things like this and needs to like get the hard data with respect to how businesses are being affected. 82% of the MSMEs in the survey conducted by Fate Foundation and Budget, 82.8% of them said they are likely to lay off 1 to 5 employees. Although on the positive end, 50% of them said they're able to identify opportunities during the pandemic, opportunities to sell products and services, opportunities to maybe expand, and so on and so forth. What else was in this survey? There was some other interesting things that were in this survey that I saw. Oh yeah, here we go. How 40 okay, this was positive. Of the number of MSMEs that they spoke with respect to whether they think they will survive. Now, you know, I guess well, this is, again, it's a survey, so you know, I guess if you're wanting to speak into existence that you will survive the pandemic and your business will still be alive, you could say that that's, you know, partly an emotional thing, but forget it. It doesn't matter whether it's emotional or not. We're just going to take the survey for what it is, right? So 47% of them said yes, that they feel that they will survive the pandemic. 30% said no, they will not survive the pandemic, and 22.8% of them said they are not sure. So you can combine the 30% that said no, they won't survive, and 22.8% that said they're not sure, and say that at least 52.8% of respondents are either not sure that they will survive or are saying they will not survive, versus the 47%. I mean, you can dissect this thing how you want with respect to a positive outlook as to surviving the pandemic. Here's another thing. They looked at the cash flow, source of cash flow of the business. This is another very important part. 53% of cash flow for these businesses was from their own reserves. That's just savings, right? Or cash that they've built up in the past that they've put away. So 53.7% of their cash flow was from reserve. 13.8% was from loans, the type of which the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund is offering, and the governor is now saying you can take 3 months off to pay it back. 9.7% of it is from family and friends. So, you know, I mean, if 53 or 60% of cash flow came from loans, then you can say, all right, you know, giving you 3 months off is enough of a breather to where you can survive. You know, again, look, this is a good move. Or please, nobody should get me wrong at all. What the Lagos State government is doing, what the federal government is doing, what the CBN is doing, loan relief is always welcome. They are right now. I don't know why Ghana, or is it South Africa though, at a country level for emerging markets, I believe it was either Ghana or South Africa. I read it somewhere. They came out and said they don't want loan relief from China and the West or something like that. I just like glanced at that headline. I thought it was funny, but I didn't get a chance to get into it. But at a macro level, right? I think we talked about how the Paris Club debts that Obasanjo helped us pay off, you know, and how we've slowly, you know, our debt has risen. We've seen the reports. Q1 2019, Nigeria spent 99% of debt to revenue ratio. We brought in like 950 billion in revenue in Q1 of this year. 940 billion went to servicing debt. That's crazy. It's crazy. It's nuts. All right, but anyway, let me get back to what I'm saying here. At a macro level, loan relief is good, right? So again, the foundation here is that what Lagos State is doing, any help that SMEs can get, whether it's even 2 days, don't pay your loan for 2 days, 1 week, it is helpful. The only case that I'm making here is that it needs to be extended. So once more, back to, again, and this conversation we're having now is supported by data that was from a survey that was carried out by the Faith Foundation and budget. These surveys need to be carried out by the states. They need to be, the Bureau of Statistics is doing their own part, but you need to have constant, this shouldn't be coming from the Faith Foundation and budget. This should be coming from Lagos State. 48% of the respondents in this survey were located in Lagos. So almost half of this survey was conducted because most businesses are here. This is the commercial capital of Nigeria. Again, I go back to the data, straight up. Source of cash flow, 53.7% are from their reserves. 13% are from loans, 9% from family and friends. All right, and then I think this last one here is the most important. Let's see now, part of the survey. They asked them, what kind of help do you need? Where is that thing? Where is that? Look, I'm looking for it here. It's a 30-page report. All right. No. Here, wait a minute. I'm getting it here. What? There we go. How would you like government to support you at this time? 89.4% of the respondents said funding. We need money. Again, 89.4% of the respondents to this Faith Foundation budget survey, of which 1,900 MSMEs were surveyed, said that funding is what they need. 33% said access to market. 32% said reduce loan interest, which again is what the CBN did for their intervention funds, 400 basis point cut from 9% to 5% on their intervention loans. Again, CBN doing what they can. They cut the interest rate. They gave people, SMEs, 1-year moratorium. 30% said electricity, alternative energy. 23% said internet data. 22% said tax rebate holidays. And then 3.6% said other. But once again, 89%, when they asked them, how would you like the government to support you at this time? 89% said funding. Give up, we need money. That I said this yesterday on the marketplace in the afternoon. That is what all this stimulus comes down to. I gave an example yesterday of the West. The European Union, the Eurozone, they've announced a 700 or 750 billion euro stimulus package for the Eurozone countries. Part of it to be grants, part of it to be loans. They're still debating how it's going to work out. Germany is part of the Eurozone. Even with the 750 billion that was announced, Germany still announced their own 130 billion stimulus package for businesses. The UK, they've announced they have their own. The US, again, these are countries that have deep pockets. The US can literally print dollars to do what they're doing, right? So it's not a fair comparison, but the point I'm making is that this thing comes down to money. Businesses are suffering. There's no outlet. They just need the money. Let me see if some messages here. We have Ogene Ochuko from AJ. Extend the repayment period until a vaccine is found. Okay, that's a long one, but then that's a good move. MI said, great move for starters from Mr. Governor to extend the LSETF moratorium, but what are his future plans for business recovery, especially with MSMEs? Most small businesses survive by servicing bigger businesses as vendors. We need a stimulus package to get more into positive. For an economic hub like Lagos, however, 1 quarter isn't enough. Dami says, what's Dami saying here? 3 months is what the government can afford. I don't think you should blame them. Data on the LASG revenue says that they can't afford more because their IGRs have been significantly impacted in the past 3 months. Even LASG needs funding. That's from Dami. Good point. Henry Manuel says cash is the major anchor for businesses, and anything that helps businesses, absolutely. But also worried about supporting businesses that will die anyway. So any help on this particular initiative should be targeted, and that can happen without dependable, disaggregated data on enterprises within the states. Does Lagos State have such data? I'm not sure. As always, Excellent messages from our Business Express listeners. You guys are practically analysts on this show. I've said it several times. It's not just the analysts that come on the program. It's you folks. Look, real quick, didn't have enough time to get into this. The Naira Marley aviation sector. I think you should. Yeah, I think you should ask this on when you get the chance later on Grapevine. Yeah, of course, I'm coming from a business angle. I don't know if it is fair to punish the airline. Now, this is maybe a controversial thing to say because they broke the rules. You weren't supposed to fly. But while we're still talking about stimulus and palliatives, Nigeria's aviation sector has not gotten anything. They got nothing. They got no help. No funding has come their way. They're still talking to government. Again, government doesn't have the money for this. So I think the person that should be punished should be Naira Marley, since he's the one that paid for the service to get the jets to fly him to where he was supposed to go. So all the headlines are about them sanctioning that private jet service, right? Again, this is his second time, where the last time he had that, what's that actor's name? Funke. I always say Funke when I hear her name. Adele. Yeah. She had that thing at her estate. He attended it. He was part of the people there. They said they would punish them. I don't know. He looks like he said, I'll do all these things for awareness.
He made him apologize.
Yeah, now he's entering trouble again. So again, because of these special circumstances, because it costs so much money to run an airline, private jet, I know we're running out of time. Maybe we'll continue this conversation tomorrow. I don't think that they should have punished the airline. Or even though I acknowledge that the airline broke the rules, I think the bulk of the punishment should have been on Naira Marley, because Nigeria's aviation sector is struggling.
A lot of them are going out.
Yeah, it's so tough. It's so hard.
We'll talk about this.
But that
freshly pressed 91 and the Grapevine. But
yes, indeed. Hey, and thank you for all your messages as well. Benga, we've run out of time. Frank, we've run out of time, but I see your messages. Thank you all so much. We'll probably continue the conversation tomorrow.
All right, stay tuned. Next at 7:30, we'll bring you freshly pressed 91. Join us for those discussions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, G. 98.1. Every Monday to Friday at 6:45 a.m.